In your opinion, what's the biggest learning curve for rookie edge rushers in this league, and what's impressed you about Jonah Ellis?
The biggest learning curve for rushers, I think, in general, is how to rush the big tackles. And it's not really speed on the edge. It's kind of throw a guy. That's tough for young rushers to. The ones with great quickness and great get off and speed, that doesn't always work, right? So it's really through a man. It's speed to power. That's where it starts, and then you use your edge stuff. But for some young rushers, they're too much speed, and they get pushed past the quarterback awful lot. But it's a dark, tough job. It's not a pretty job at all, rushing a passer. And most of your sacks you see on tape, it's dirty, grimy, hustle sacks, and it's through a man. And that's hard for young guys.
Okay. During training camp, what impressed you the most about Jordan Jackson?
Wow. I think his improvement. Last year he was close to making our roster, but he's prototype. I mean, he's tall, he's got length, he's got speed, he's super smart and reliable. So I was happy to see him come back, and he got stronger in the offseason. That's helped his game, but he's had a great camp and a great preseason. So we'll see if it carries on, but it's been fun to watch him grow as a player.
Vance, how do you reel in young players in particular who have a tendency to want to try to do too much?
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. You hope you can calm them down with just doing their job, and being 111th. That's important. Football is a team game, and if a young guy's playing, if he simply do his job, and when they're young, that's never a problem, really. It's that second and third year when they play a little bit and they get too much confidence, and they're reaching to make plays, they're just doing their job. But if they focus on just doing their job and being 111, they'll be fine. It's a team game.
Perspective, what kind of challenges are there that come from going against a team with an offensive play caller who's never called plays in the NFL?
Well, he's called plays before in football, and obviously he was at UW last year in college, and he's got 3 games in preseason this year, and his background kind of speaks to the film, but it's somewhat challenging because you're not sure what else he's got, obviously, from college to now, and we can't worry about that. Our system should handle most of it, but we have to nail what we know and adjust to the rest. But it is challenging not to see enough of red zone, of third downs, and you got plenty of first, second down stuff, but the situational football, areas, that's where we're short, and we have to adjust when we see it on Sunday, and you hope your system catch most of it.
Vance, this league's full of top-notch receivers, but how unique is DK Metcalf?
He is big and he's fast, and his ball skills have grown from his time he's been in the league. Obviously, being in Arizona, I faced him twice a year for a long time. So to watch him go from just a big, fast guy playing physical to a guy who can run routes now, who can drop his weight, who's got great ball skills, who you have to have a plan to stop. If not, you won't stop him. So he's definitely grown in those areas, and speaking of him, there's 2 others also. That's the challenge this week. They've got 3 really good receivers. They've got a good back. They've got Noah Fant at tight end, who's a really good pass catcher and inline blocker. So that's the challenge, to balance between, stopping the run and helping guys in coverage.
Pat Surtain got the big extension yesterday. How much of a luxury is it for you building game plans week in, week out, and then also building defenses year in, year out to have that?
I think it's always good to have good players, especially corners, and if you have a unique player that can, take away some stress from others, that's always important to have. And Patrick's that kind of player. You hope he can, take most of the stress off the coverage stuff and push the ball to Pat. But it's good to have good players in every spot, obviously. But he's unique as a person, first of all, and as a player. He's super smart. He works hard, and it's good to have him on our team.
I know we didn't see Brandon Jones in preseason games, but what do you expect for him to bring back into that defense? And what was the vision for him bringing?
Well, his history is he's a player with great range. He's a good blitzer. He's got great range to keep the big plays, to a minimum. He's super smart, but he hadn't played much, so obviously it won't be perfect because he hadn't played actual football and tackled all those things. But his experience and his skill set should show.
Coach McDonald said that Kenneth Walker was going to be their bell cow.
Yeah.
Going to have the workload. As a coordinator, do you like the running back by committee, or is it more challenging when it's just one guy, featured guy like Walker's going to be?
I think it's just the offense in general, and I think he's hit on something. If they can run the ball and force teams to load the box and play more single high, now he gets more one-on-ones with his 3 receivers. So that's NFL 101. So that's smart by him to kind of lean that way, especially your first year with a system. Obviously this back's a proven player. He's got proven players at receiver and quarterback, but the safe route for a play caller is to hand the ball off, right? And if you're getting 4 to 5 a crack and you're in 2nd and 5 and 2nd and 4, man, you're winning, right? So it makes everyone's job easier. And obviously Coach McDonald being in Baltimore, that's their philosophy, to shorten games and play great defense. So if you can do that in this league, man, you can win a lot of games.